More details in the case against Johnny Schultz that ended in surprising fashion last night. After nearly 9 hours of deliberations in the 20-year-old's retrial, a plea deal ultimately ended this case that started back in July of 2020.
16 News Now reporter Jack Springate reported from the Fulton County Courthouse in both the original trial and this retrial.
And he joins us live from Studio B to tell us why this case was so unique and what this plea deal means for Johnny Schultz. Jack?
Well, guys, last night you heard from Monica Murphy in her report that the prosecutor in this case hadn't seen anything like this in 21 years. Defense attorney Paul Namey told me the original trial last July was the first case he's tried that resulted in a hung jury. Just when this retrial seemed to be headed in that same direction, an even more unexpected plea deal came into the picture.
This achieves what the state wants, that is a conviction. And it achieves what Johnny wants, an opportunity to get past and move on while also still having to pay the price for what he did.
Schultz goes from possibly serving the rest of his life in prison to possibly avoiding any additional jail time. He originally faced 2 conspiracy to commit murder charges, a level 2 felony, as well as 4 level 6 felonies for intimidation and drug possession. Now he'll only be sentenced for conspiracy to commit murder at Rochester High School, and it will be up to the judge to decide whether that means more jail time, probation, or a combination of the two.
He's not off the hook. I mean, even if he was to get out of jail on the day of sentencing, he's still going to have this case hanging over his head. There's still going to be some monitoring. There's still going to be some things he's going to have to do to effectively take responsibility for his crime.
Here's the lead prosecutor's thoughts from last night on having both co-conspirators plead guilty.
It's not ideal what we were looking for, but we have a situation where both of the defendants in this case who were threatening to shoot up schools here in Fulton County, particularly Rochester High School, have pled guilty. Mars
was unavailable for further comment when I reached out today, and Namey said he couldn't go into exact details about the maximum and minimum sentences outlined in the new plea deal, but he says he expects this sentence to reflect Schultz's level of involvement in this crime compared to his co-defendant, Donnie Robin Jr.
It indicates that he may have been going along with it or talking about it in the beginning, but Donnie was the one who took the actions. But because Johnny didn't try to stop him, he is guilty by association.
Robin Jr. is currently serving 8 years in prison on a 17-year sentence for pleading guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder. Schultz's sentencing is scheduled for March 7th at 3:30. And with that plea deal being filed just yesterday, I'm still working with the courts to get a copy of that document once it's available so we can tell you exactly what Schultz is facing come sentencing. But for now, I'll send it back to you two.
All right, Jack, thanks for that update tonight.